Hi, it's Colin Cowherd. I started The Volume to bring you some of the most authentic voices in sports. While you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. Thanks. In the TV world, you know this, there is a term, jump the shark, for a show that does something so clearly out of good ideas, it can't be taken seriously anymore. That was Fonzie in the old Happy Days show. It was like the 5th or 6th season of Happy Days. There's an episode, he goes water skiing in his leather jacket and jumps over a shark. That's what the entire episode was about. I remember when I was a kid, when they brought Cousin Oliver on the Brady Bunch. I know 90% of you don't remember that moment, but I said that moment before they even coined the phrase. They jumped the shark. And then several years later, Fonzie jumped over a shark. So it literally hit me as a jump the shark moment before the term had been coined. But seriously, the Cowboys quarterback draw with 14 seconds left. It felt like a Mike McCarthy jump the shark moment. Like when you have multiple NFL quarterbacks, former quarterbacks, going onto social media and saying, yeah, it's understood that it takes like 17 to 18 seconds. McCarthy's always been one of those guys. And this is what I find fascinating about the Cowboys. I used to say this when he was the coach of Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. I said, they don't even look like they fit. Like Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers look like they could be snarky drinking buddies. Like Big Ben and Tomlin, kind of tough guys. You could see them over beers. Like Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy, it looked like an actor and a Milwaukee cop. It's like they wouldn't hang out together. They wouldn't be in the same social circle. They wouldn't double date together. Like for a franchise that is so good at optics and aesthetics, the Cowboys, they are the Kardashians of the NFL. They never leave the house without makeup. Mike McCarthy's just doesn't even fit the organization. And we've all kind of known that. But I thought that quarterback draw looked so disorganized. And then he doubled down afterwards at the podium. There's just no way back from that. Like, there are certain times in your life that you have memories of people that are so strong that they can't overcome those memories. And I feel like that with McCarthy. Everybody in the league that I trust, it's understood in the NFL. Under 15 seconds, you need 30 yards, no timeouts. The sideline is your ally. The middle of the field is your enemy. And McCarthy's been doing this now for 14 years as a head coach? It's just, I can't get past it. I can't get past that moment. Put on a leather jacket, some water skis, and jump over a shark. I can't get past it. So I was watching Matt Stafford on Monday night, and I don't know many people in Hollywood. One of my friends, Eric, his dad used to run a movie studio. And Eric was a good high school athlete, but his dad one summer made him intern for his movie studio. And he had to catalog all the Marvel studio characters. And it was a big process. And so he knew the Marvel kind of library really, really well. And, Disney came in and eventually bought Marvel. And I remember the number being like $4 billion. It may have been $2 billion, but I think it was $4 billion. And my friend Eric said, there's no way it's worth that. I know every character in that library. There's no way. And then Iron Man itself made double what Disney paid for the entire Marvel studio catalog, right? All the characters. And it's a great example of the power of culture and star making. Disney takes those Marvel characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Captain Marvel. It's a long list. Now, these characters were all around in the 60s. Half a century. Nobody quite knew what the hell to do with them. And then in 2009, Disney acquired Marvel, and now all of a sudden, it's made all these movies. And Iron Man has been just a massive source of revenue for the Disney company. And so what it tells you, a lot of times, it's not just the product. It's the organization that gets its hands on it and knows what to do with it. And a great example is Matt Stafford. We knew Matt Stafford had talent. We knew OBJ had talent. But most had disappeared for the last several years. Stafford in Detroit, OBJ in Cleveland. Isn't it amazing? Then in the first year with Sean McVay, Stafford is now challenging Tom Brady for a chance to go to the NFC Championship and was in the MVP chase for most of the season. And OBJ, who didn't have a single touchdown this year in Cleveland, has 6 in 9 games with the Rams. And, I mean, it's not like people thought you couldn't make a Captain America or Iron Man or Avengers movie. But once you gave it to the right star-making company, the right organization, nobody predicted Iron Man would do that. If Marvel thought it would do that, they would have charged double what they charged Disney to buy their catalog. And so most players can't overcome a weak to suboptimal environment. I mean, can you imagine Matt Stafford next year when they don't lose Robert Woods, they don't lose Cam Akers? It's only going to get better. Cooper Kupp's not getting worse. OBJ in this system longer is not getting worse. Speaking of injuries, about 5 years ago, and Sean McVay had a little to do with this. Sean McVay refused to play starters in the preseason. And a lot of the veteran coaches rolled their eyes at it. Oh, they won't be ready to play in September. Well, that Rams team went 8-0 with Jared Goff to start the season. And it really was a catalyst for change in the NFL, where it is an exception now when a Bruce Arians or a Bill Belichick, a veteran coach, plays starters in the preseason. That is now the exception, the outlier to the rule. Young coaches just won't do it. Matt LaFleur won't do it. Shanahan won't do it. Sean McVay doesn't want to do it. And McVay also believed if you were going to attract free agents, you had to let veteran players practice without pads. Let's have easier practices for an Andrew Whitworth. And it became a talking point around free agents in the league and veteran players is that you can go to Los Angeles and they want you to show up on Sunday and fit into their culture. But the days of banging around in practice, starters playing in the preseason, that's not to say the Rams are a country club, but it makes them very attractive to veteran players, OBJ, Von Miller, Andrew Whitworth, that have options and are now overwhelmingly, when given the option, they want to play for the Rams. And you look around the NFL right now. First of all, almost all the teams left have all their stars left. Even teams like the Packers that lost Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander, they're coming back and expected to play Saturday. J.J. Watt, we thought lost for the season. He played Monday night. Derrick Henry, out for the season. Wrong-o, he'll be playing this weekend. So between the medical advances to get players back and the ease and the safety precautions of the rules, equipment, and the standards and practices within NFL teams, isn't it remarkable in a sport with regulated violence how healthy these NFL teams are even after an additional 17th game. Yet, in the NBA, here's the list of stars that are out. Kevin Durant, 2 months. Anthony Davis, Kawhi, Paul George, Draymond, Zion, Damian Lillard for the Blazers, Derrick Rose, Lonzo Ball, 10 of the top 20, 25 players in the league. Certainly 10 of the top 20 draws in the league. So I don't have an answer for it when it comes to the NBA, but the injuries in the NFL, it feels to me, are happening more often early in the season, pre-Thanksgiving, and many of those players return, and the injuries overall are cut way, way back. Last weekend, all starting quarterbacks. This weekend, all starting quarterbacks. When the Rams play the Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and Tristan Wirfs, injured, probably all play. Only Robert Woods is a high-end starter for either team that won't be available. But there is such an embarrassment of riches at wide receiver around the league. The Rams are just fine in that unit. One league's got all its stars, or almost all of them. The other star-driven league is dealing with a lot of understudies, and you wonder why the NFL's pulling away.